finally, listen to these gray seals. A team of researchers at a Scottish university conducted a study that shows 3 trained seals were able to imitate parts of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and other popular tunes. Besides being entertaining, scientists say gray seals could be a new model to study speech disorders since they use their vocal cords the same way as humans. Fascinating.
And that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
That is it.
That's fascinating, isn't it?
You learn something every day. Wow. Thanks, Lowell and Louie. That's our time for now. Have a great weekend. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now. And right now, a company retreat turns out not to be the relaxing outing it should have been. A look at video from the cruise ship stuck in yesterday's storm.
And City of Madison officials want your feedback about whether more parks should be dog-friendly. We'll share how you can join in the conversation.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us. Eric Franke has the afternoon off. Today's weather is only a reminder of what we went through yesterday.
From straight line winds to blown over trees to power outages, a lot of people have a story to tell today. And Amy Reed joins us now from Lake Monona with one of them. Amy?
This group from Greater Insurance accidentally ended up exactly where they didn't want to be yesterday, right out there on Lake Monona. Here's some of the video they took while they were on a lake cruise. Heavy winds and high waves got in the way as they tried to make it back to shore as fast as they could. The group told me the weather looked great before. They were supposed to be on a 3-hour cruise as a company retreat, but they only got about a half hour into it before across the horizon they saw the storm coming. Then they noticed the captain kicking it into action.
He was turning the boat back towards Monona Terrace to go to the dock, and he had picked up speed, but so had the storm, so kind of went right into it.
They said the captain of the boat took the worst of it. He got knocked over by the canopy and it broke the chair he was supposed to sit on. Still, he got them back to shore from his knees. But the group said they don't hold any ill will toward the company that took them out there, especially for how they handled it. They said now it's just a good story and they would go out there and do a cruise again.
All right, just keep an eye on the weather, I guess, before you head out. Amy Reed live in Monona. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. A lightning strike reportedly caused a boat to catch on fire in Nakusa. A neighbor called the fire department early this morning after seeing the flames. The boat was on a trailer and the fire spread to nearby trees. Investigators say the boat is a total loss. Firefighters in the town of Burke confirm a lightning strike caused a house fire this morning. Sun Prairie firefighters were dispatched to the scene of Ratman Road after a homeowner heard a loud bang. Firefighters say the lightning hit the back corner of the house and caused smoke and drywall damage. Firefighters respond to about half a dozen lightning strikes to homes each year.
We do see lightning strikes quite frequently, more severely when big, strong storms come through like we had yesterday and today. But oftentimes, if they're caught early, damage is limited. But it's definitely a hazard that nobody can really control.
There were no injuries in the fire. Right now, Alliant Energy is assessing electrical hazards and checking circuits before power is restored to the home, and an insurance agent is assessing the damage.
Tonight's Live on King Street show at Madison is being moved inside due to the possibility of more storms. That'll happen inside the Majestic Theater. Doors open at 7. The show starts at 8. According to a release, the show will still be free, but organizers expect the venue to fill up quickly and recommend getting there early. Meteorologist Chris Reese is on the weather patio now with our first alert forecast. Kind of sticky out there.
Very sticky out here. The dew points are up. The humidity is certainly up as well. This is all in the wake of some showers and thunderstorms that came through earlier this morning. Now things are a lot clearer for us. But here's just a loop just showing you the showers and thunderstorms as they rolled on through, now pushing off towards the south. And the cloud cover that is associated with that has begun to break up, allowing for more sunshine to take over. But the temperatures, however, were not able to recover. Here's a live look outside right now. We're seeing a little bit more in the way of the blue sky, but today's highs only made it towards 82. So call it a blessing or a curse, but we could have seen those highs right around 88 towards 90 degrees. But the showers and thunderstorms and the resulting cloud cover did work to keep us a little bit cooler today. In fact, 82, 1 degree above average for this time of the year, and 82 is actually where we sit for our temperature right now. We're the warmest we've been simply because we're seeing more and more of that cloud cover. But as we go through the next 12 hours, look for temperatures to begin to come down. Here's where we all are right now. Most of us are in the low 80s. We'll begin to drop into the 70s and then eventually the upper 60s. In fact, 69 is going to be our low temperature overnight tonight. I can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm for some, though I do think most of us are going to be dry. In the meantime, expect things to be mild and muggy with the steam setting up for the weekend. I'll be breaking down that full weekend forecast coming up.
All right, Chris, thank you. New at 5, the widow of a truck driver who drove off an I-94 overpass to avoid a crash has filed a lawsuit against Warehouse Transport Services. She says that company's employee was driving recklessly and caused the Racine County crash that killed 45-year-old Jeffrey Johnson. Authorities call Johnson a hero for swerving to avoid other cars. The lawsuit accuses the trucking company of negligence for hiring, training, and supervising Kenneth Rogers, a semi-driver who also died in the crash. Racine sheriff's officials have identified the man suspected of fatally shooting an off-duty police officer last week. 26-year-old Delquavis Ward of Milwaukee was arrested yesterday in connection to Officer John Hetland's murder. Authorities say they took him into custody in Officer Hetland's handcuffs. Ward has not yet been charged.
A missing 7-month-old baby is on his way back home after police found him at a motel in Northwest Ohio. Police say Jeb Sparks Jr. allegedly beat the baby's mother before he and his mother took the child and left. Sparks' car was spotted at a motel in Bryan, Ohio overnight. The family shared this video of the baby being reunited with his mother, Ashley Floyd, earlier this morning.
The white supremacist who drove his car into a crowd of anti-racism protesters during a white nationalist rally in Virginia has been sentenced to life in prison. James Alex Fields Jr. of Ohio was sentenced today after pleading guilty in March to federal hate crime charges. In exchange for a guilty plea, prosecutors dropped their request for the death penalty. 32-year-old Heather Heyer, a paralegal and civil rights activist, was killed in the August 2017 attack. Nearly 3 dozen others were injured.
Summerfest staff are investigating after one of last night's headliners accused a security guard of being racist and attacking her team.
Lizzo says she is out for blood after the incident and will be filing a complaint against the guard. Our Amanda Quintana is here now with the details. Amanda?
Yes, well, Lizzo was the headliner at the Harley-Davidson Roadhouse stage last night with more than 10,000 people in the audience. She tweeted, "It was a beautiful night, but, quote, racism and bigotry don't care if you're a headliner." She says a security guard tackled and attacked her team. Her stylist, Marco Monroe, took to social media to explain, saying he was in the photo pit filming Lizzo when a security guard tried to kick him out.
I was like, no, I work for Lizzo, I'm her stylist, and then I just completely get manhandled. He then grabs my arm and puts it behind my back.
He claims Lizzo's hairstylist tried to intervene and was also pushed. Summerfest says it's investigating, saying the event has crowd management staff to protect performers and fans, but they're expected to handle things professionally and respectfully. They also said they do not tolerate racism in any form. Lizzo is asking anyone who has video of that attack to send it in.
All right, Amanda, thank you.
More local news now. Unity Point Health is set to merge with South Dakota-based Stanford Health, creating one of the largest nonprofit health systems in the country. Unity Point Health is based in Iowa and has a hospital and clinics in Dane County. The new organization would have $11 billion in operating value and more than 83,000 employees. Officials say the merger is still under review and should be finalized by the end of 2019.
Tomorrow night, Wisconsin's largest fireworks display returns to Madison. Shake the Lake features live music next to Monona Terrace, plus food and family activities along John John Nolan Drive. The gates open at 5 p.m. A reminder, the temperatures are expected to be near 90 degrees at that time. Each guest is allowed to bring a 20-ounce sealed water bottle into the event zone. The fireworks show, choreographed to music, will begin at 10 o'clock. The city of Madison wants your opinion on whether or not more parks should be accessible to dogs.
Gabriela Becerra joins us now with more on that story. Gabby?
Yeah, so the city, there are more than 270 parks in Madison, and 26 of those are accessible to dogs on a leash, and 8 have off-leash areas for dogs to run around. The City of Madison Parks Division wants to hear from both dog owners and non-dog owners about making more parks accessible to pets. Bob Brooks takes his dog to Warner Dog Park 2 or 3 times a day.
They're off leash and they like the different smells. They like playing with other dogs, and they like it down here because they can go swimming.
Warner is one of Madison's parks accessible to dogs.
And then it's a great meeting place for people who have dogs, and you talk about dogs and their pets.
Madison's current policy states that dogs are prohibited in most places, with the exception of on-leash and off-leash parks.
Over the last several years, there has been a growing need for us to review our policy or take a look at our policy.
The Parks Division says they already see a lot of public interest in this issue.
We hear from people on both spectrums of the issue. We hear from people that would love to be able to have dogs everywhere, and we hear from those that don't want to see dogs in the parks at all.
So before they adjust the policy, they want the public to help them decide what's best.
The end goal is that the policy will be a balanced approach that that the majority of the community can live with.
Alex Fulton says as a mother and a dog owner, she can see both sides.
As someone with a small child, especially when he was even smaller, I did appreciate knowing that we could go to a park and not have to worry about dogs being there.
She says as long as owners are responsible, she doesn't see a problem with more dogs.
It would be nice if we're out walking the dog or something to be able to stop and play at the park.
If you would like to attend and share your opinion at one of these public forums, you can find the dates, times, and locations at channel3000.com.
It's been a long time since that law has been changed. 1973?
Yeah, but they've made adjustments here and there accordingly.
We'll continue to follow it, see what happens. Thanks, Gabby.
You're welcome.
And coming up next at 5, the U.S. Supreme Court decides it will review President Trump's decision to end the program protecting undocumented immigrants who came here as children.
And ahead on News 3 Now at 6, the Illinois governor signs a bill to bring a casino to Rockford. We're asking how this could impact Wisconsin's plans for a Ho-Chunk Nation casino in Beloit.
And on Wall Street, the Dow up 73 points to end the week at 26,599. The NASDAQ up 38 and the S&P 500 gained 16. We'll be right back.
Democratic senators forced a vote on an amendment that would require President Trump to seek congressional approval before ordering military strikes. As expected, the measure did not pass the Senate. The move came 1 week after the president called off a strike against Iran for shooting down a U.S. drone. At the G20 summit, President Trump spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin and German Chancellor Angela Merkel about Iran. He says he is still open to negotiations.
There's absolutely no time pressure. I think that in the end, hopefully it's going to work out. If it does, great. And if it doesn't, you'll be hearing about it.
The U.S. is trying to ramp up economic pressure on Iran by imposing additional sanctions, and the U.S. Special Envoy for Iran has announced any country that imports Iranian oil will also be sanctioned.
In their next term, the U.S. Supreme Court will review President Trump's decision to terminate the Obama-era DACA program. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program protects hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. as children. If the High Court sides with the Trump administration, it could strip protections from 700,000 so-called dreamers. And Justice Clarence Thomas says that while he agreed with the Supreme Court's decision not to hear a case on surgical abortions in Alabama, he wants the High Court to consider rolling back historical precedent on abortions. Justice Thomas made it clear it's time for the court to address abortion as states work to codify abortion on their own terms. Well, today marks 50 years since the start of riots at the Stonewall Inn in New York City.
A police raid led to backlash that fueled the modern-day gay rights movement. Stonewall patrons resisted arrest, the violence escalated, and eventually hundreds joined in. 50 years after the riots, NYPD Commissioner James O'Neill apologized to the gay community.
The actions and the laws were discriminatory and oppressive.
Do you remember where you were when you decided I have to do this?
Wasn't sure I was going to do it until I got up to the podium, quite frankly. I said, you know, this has to be done. Otherwise, New York City is not going to be the place that it needs to be.
Despite all of the progress made since the riots, statistics show that tolerance for LGBTQ Americans, particularly among young people, has sharply decreased from 63% in 2016 to 45% last year.
Let's get a look now at your first alert to weather. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hello, guys. June likely going to end like it started, and that is with temperatures that were above average. Once we flipped the calendar from May into June, we actually had a pretty decent stretch of temperatures that were well above average. But the middle of June, yeah, it's been pretty chilly out there. One of the coldest Father's Days we ever saw on June 16th, 9 degrees below normal then. But check out what happened early this week. Our temperatures went above average. We've had that stretch of above average days, and that likely continues as we flip the calendar into July. But once you get all that heat and humidity, you start to add in the storm chances as well. We've seen that going through the past 36 hours or so. Here's some pictures from Kenton Fowler of storms that came through this morning, moving on over the waterways in Madison. Picturesque skies. We've gotten plenty of emails. Even managed to get a little strike of lightning coming down next to the Capitol there. So it was certainly a stormy morning. In fact, this is the last 36 hours showing you the line of storms that came through yesterday, followed up with the next line of thunderstorms that moved on through here this morning. Watch those come on through again. The showers yesterday starting all the way in the Dakotas, moving down through Madison, bringing the strong winds as those came on through. And then these were the noisy makers this morning. But a lot of that now well to our south. So over the past couple of hours, we've seen some clear skies for us. And then the showers and thunderstorms that brought the cloud cover too. The cloud cover has started to fall apart for us, and that is what's allowing a little bit more sunshine out there right now. But unfortunately, that cloud cover kept us a little bit cooler, or I guess you could say fortunately, because if it wasn't for the cloud cover, we'd probably add about another 6 more degrees to this 82 that's out there. Winds out of the east and southeast at 5 miles per hour, and dew points are into the upper 60s. So yes, as you step outside, folks, it is certainly muggy. 86 in Mineral Point right now, 84 in Camp Douglas, same for Black River Falls. All of us seeing those temperatures into the low 80s right now. Here's what happens, though, as we go through tonight and into the weekend. Look for your overnight lows to fall into the upper 60s. We should stay mainly quiet going through the rest of the overnight hours. But tomorrow, 11:30, already near 80 degrees, likely topping out around 90 with sunshine and humidity. There's not going to be a lot of relief from the heat tomorrow unless you can find those ways to stay cool. into Sunday, we're doing it all over again. It's 8 o'clock Sunday morning, already 75 degrees. The one thing that might save us from a little bit of that heat is we are looking at another potential for a cluster of showers and storms to dive out of the northwest into the day on Sunday. But still, those temperatures are going to rebound. It's going to be staying hot, folks. And when you factor in the humidity, here's what it could likely feel like. We're talking mid and upper 90s being the feels like temperatures for a lot of folks through the weekend. And again, by 10 o'clock Sunday morning, it's possible that it could feel like the mid 90s out there. So you've wanted summer. Summer is certainly here. And then once those storms come through on Sunday, if they develop, it'll somewhat cool us off, but it's still going to be staying mild and muggy, folks. A large dome of heat is going to be developing throughout the atmosphere, and that is going to be keeping things very warm for us, and of course stormy as well, with temperatures going into the upper 80s and low 90s through most of the 10 days. Let's go ahead and show you guys traffic. Here's how things are shaping up for you. The Beltline is, of course, seeing some slowdowns out there. We're going to watch those Beltline slowdowns, but right now at Todd Drive, traffic is certainly moving. Elsewhere, some of those slowdowns are downtown. Right around the Isthmus area, we'll be tracking that. But if you are heading on out, here's your route drive times right now. Westbound Beltline from John Nolan to Verona Road. It's taking you about 16 minutes. And then from University to the interstate, that's taking you about 20 minutes at this time.
All right, thanks, Chris.
A teenager in Cross Plains is proving anyone can start a business if you put your mind to it. That News 3 Now exclusive story coming up next. Well, a teenager in Cross Plains is out to prove anyone can do anything they set their minds to.
With the help of his family, he is the mastermind behind masterpieces that inspired a business. Only News 3 Now's Danica Lewis got to see him in action.
The biggest challenge of capturing Ben Kells at work
What'd you put on me?
is him fighting the urge to be a teenage boy.
Can I touch that?
No, do not touch that. That's really hot.
While manning the camera provokes this kind of reaction on the other side of the lens.
He's pretty quiet sometimes.
But hovering over a blank sheet of paper, that is when the real expression starts.
He's always drawn ever since he was little. That was his favorite thing to do.
Luckily, Mom Catherine and Dad Mason
Can I take this to Mom?
can put words to Ben's talents.
He's going into high school this coming fall, and we were trying to think, well, what types of things could he do as an adult and after high school? And we kept coming back to he can do art.
One day it dawned on them that Ben's sketches could be copied onto cotton,
Nice and even all the way across.
screen printed into t-shirts.
To see the smile on his face when he's got the finished product in his hand makes it all worth it. So.
Yeah. The only thing better is when we go out in the community and someone's wearing his shirt. It's smile just from ear to ear. That's the best.
The project is called the Can Do Artist.
Well, I mean, everybody can do something.
For Ben, that something
Keep going.
is this.
All right, good.
I really just want people to know that people with different abilities, they can do a lot. So many people tend to focus on what is different or what they can't do. And for me, that doesn't matter because everybody has something that they can do, something that they're good at. And
Everybody can do something. It's just finding out what that is.
Bird. Popcorn.
Now the family goes to different events, selling their shirts and their message.
It doesn't matter if you have Down syndrome or not or anything. You should do what you care about.
And while silence can be tough to decipher, translating pencil strokes, now that we can do.
He's got a story to tell, I guess, through his art.
Danica Lewis, News 3 Now.
By the way, Ben has 5 brothers and sisters. The biggest challenge of this business venture is making sure they're all cared for when the can-do artist needs to work. Ben, Catherine, and Mason will be at WannaFest at the end of July. And if you'd like one of Ben's t-shirts, you can order his creations online. We have that page on our website, channel3000.com.
Can do indeed.
Yeah.
Another check of the weather when we come back.
Well, parking tickets are a pain, but Las Vegas is letting their residents pay up in a different way.
For 1 month, if you get a ticket in Las Vegas, you can pay it back with school supplies instead of your typical parking fee. The city council is accepting classroom supplies like paper, pens, erasers, and sticky notes. The supplies must be of greater or equal value to the parking ticket, and they'll all be donated to a local nonprofit teachers exchange.
That's creative,
That's
isn't it?
a great idea.
It is a great idea. Be prepared for the heat and the humidity this weekend.
Yeah, it's certainly here. It's going to be a mild night overnight tonight. 82 degrees right now, but we are only going to be cooling down towards 69. And then it's tomorrow, we'll likely see those temperatures near 90. And we're going to stay through 90 on Sunday as well. So be prepared for that heat.
And a chance of showers every day.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 6. Have a good